Hello, this is BJ reporting live from Toyota and Honda of Seattle. It is now September. Summer feels like it has came and went fairly quickly. We still got a couple weeks left though. Want to give you a little recap of August, a couple things that have happened in the shop. Growth on both sides. So Honda's numbers from last August are up about 4%. Toyota's up about 3%. Um, Not as crazy as the numbers that we saw in May and June, but growth is growth, and we are happy to see that. With Toyota, we cut back appointments a little bit just because we have some newer technicians that are still training. We don't want to overwhelm them, want them to feel confident with the work that they're doing on the cars, make sure the cars are safe when we deliver them back to the customers. So we're able to start ramping up those appointments a little bit, but cut back a little bit this last month, so maybe that's why we see not as high of numbers for growth. Getting past that stuff, we have some movement in the shop as well. So on the Honda side, we have two technicians that have been going through the PAC program through Honda. We have those technicians going into the main shop. They are set up with two mentors, so they're now in a mentee role where they're getting to work alongside these more experienced technicians, start to do bigger jobs on cars than just the oil changes, but they're always going to be with these two mentors who are going to be walking them through everything, answering any questions they have. So we're excited for these guys, get a little more hands-on experience in the shop, well on their way to being main shop technicians. And then on the Toyota side, we have four guys who I feel like it was only yesterday that most of these guys started, but they are now going into the Toyota T10 program, two of them in the fall, two of them in the winter. They are now, each of them all on a main shop technician team. So they're not in the mentee mentor role like on the Honda side, because they are still about to go into school, but they're going to be working alongside these more experienced technicians, still doing express services, oil changes, things like that. But they kind of get a glimpse of, hey, this is why we've been working so hard in Express, doing so many oil changes, so many tire rotations. They now get to start doing a little bit more, kind of see a glimpse of what the future holds for them. So we are really excited for these guys. So a little bit of movement in the shop as we get towards maybe a little bit of the slower month, although we kind of anticipate that we're not going to slow down that much. As was kind of the case the last couple years, we stayed consistently busy through the winter months. So that's my little August recap for you. I would like to give a shout out to a technician that's been one of my favorite technicians to work with over the last 8 years that I've been with the company, David Hansen. He's been with Toyota since December of 2015. He recently decided he would move into a role with our used car team. So it's a little bit different change of pace. It's going to be a great fit for him. You know, he's one of our most experienced technicians in the shop. He's what we would call a heavy hitter technician. So he does like frame replacements, engine swaps, things like that. But it started to be take a little bit of a toll on his body. So working with used cars, it's a little bit different change of pace. He's not, getting those waiter oil changes, got to get him in and out, in 30 minutes. Takes a little bit more time. You give him a stack of cars that he has to go through, all the trade-ins that we get from people making new car purchases. But that used car team only has two technicians on it right now, so he's going to be a great, very valuable asset to that used car team of technicians. He has such a wealth of knowledge of working with all different car manufacturers, but he started talking about retirement maybe in a few years, that his body's starting to get a little bit more worn out. So this is going to be a great change of pace for him. I'm happy to still have him here as a technician. I want him to stay for as long as possible, but this is a decision that he ultimately decided to make, which I think is great for everybody involved. I loved working him, like I said, I loved when I was an advisor working with David. You give him any job, big or small, he'll get it done. Incredibly dependable. So I think this is a great move for him as he starts to think about maybe hanging up the wrench in a few years, but we're glad to keep David for as long as he wants to be a technician with us, and excited for him to move into this new role with the company, working with the used cars. So thank you, David.